welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, the grand finales of ESL Open Cup Asia number 201. We have our results coming in. We have confirmed what kind of TvT we're gonna be having here in the grand finals. ByuN did take down Gumiho 2-1, and now we have our best of 5 before us. It is gonna be ByuN versus Cure. Here we go. If you're in the chat, un momento, predictions. I need a moment to set the predictions up for this best of 5, and they will be open. So place your bets in the chat for how you think this is going to turn out. Who is going to be this week's champion? Is it going to be this player here in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta representing Shopify Rebellion? It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left, we have his opponent. We have another contender for that number 1 spot representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Oh, we're proxying. Here we go. Just need a moment to set things up here. But here we go. We're going to be starting with a bit of a proxy. So Cure going for a Rax across the map. I believe he's going to be throwing down a Rax back at home as well. So a 2 Rax opener, a pseudo 2 Rax here from Cure. Pseudo 2 Rax from Cure. So quite aggressive in nature. Again, not completely all in though, not fully committed. And we'll see what he can get done here. We'll see what kind of magic he can work. As I'm curious, we have taken both gas geysers. We're going for, yeah, not a Rax back at home. We're going for Proxy Marauder. Now this I'm unfamiliar with. I haven't seen this too often in TvT. I haven't seen this too often at all. As ByuN is going for an economic opener, Rax expand, delayed factory here from ByuN, and the Marauders are on the way. Concussive shell in production. Cure, let's go. The factory is back at home. So again, we are just going to be transitioning out of this eventually, but we're going to be banking up some of these Marauders. The goal here to bust into that natural base, delay the CC. Do we have enough firepower to even force a cancel? Or, I mean, boys are going to be pulled. Economic damage is going to be done. Regardless of what occurs, economic damage will be done here. And we'll see how this does turn out. As we do have a second Marauder on the way. SV is going to be here to tank some shots as well. And here we go, we're pulling the trigger. Concussive shell is done. And can we delay, how long can we delay the CC? As a bunker is thrown down, we get on top of the SCV, and the first SCV is going to fall. Bunker is on the way, and with the completion of this bunker, then we could try to force a cancel, but here we go, the boys are here. The boys have been pulled. SCV goes down, the bunker will not finish. The second worker will go down. A good KGA charge, that's going to be a cancel on the bunker. Good target firing here on the Marines, only 1 Marine left. Only 1 Marine. And this is getting out of hand. This is becoming a little bit too much. Cyclone is in production, but even if it comes out, Marauders, they can have their way with the Cyclone. CC does complete that. 7 worker kills already. ByuN working on his own expansion on location. We're waiting for reinforcements. Another Hellion is on the way. Cure busting up the ramp. He will get a couple of those Marines. He wants that Cyclone. He wants it. And so far he doesn't get it, but he's going to get even more SCVs. Losing a Marauder. Gets 2 more. He has high ground vision. That is no more Marauders in production. With that high ground, he gets another depot. Ay, ay, ay. Cure, he's achieved so much with this, even delaying the starport. And he gets on top of the Cyclone. 1 goes down. Can he get the other? Barely. He should not. The kiting is too good, but losing a Cyclone was brutal, and Cure is running away with this. As the dust settles, Cure, he's up 10 workers. He's getting a CC on location. Throwing down the 3rd CC right after. So greedy. Oh my god. His natural isn't even done. Throws down the 3rd CC. Getting into his 1-on-1. And we do see ByuN eventually trying to regain control of his own main base. We're even here in Cyclones. We have Medivacs to help micro and help juggle, of course. And Curie backs the hell off. He does retreat. He does finally give ByuN some breathing room. And ByuN can expand back at home. The dust is settling, and yeah, Curie is able to enjoy his worker lead, getting into his Liberator production as well. Continuing those Cyclones just to be safe, just to be secure. And the pressure is now on ByuN. The pressure is on to get damage done. He does have a medevac. He can try to go for a drop. A drop is going to be difficult to pull off, though, as Cure is lying in wait back at home. We go. Liberator is moving out. Unfortunately for ByuN, Cure isn't pushing. Like, if he was being active on the map, then this Liberator has a lot of potential. It still does, technically, but Cure, he has plenty of anti-air back at home with these Cyclones, with a couple of Marines in production as well. The game is settling. Interference Matrix. Ravens are on the way. Cure getting into a bio-tank army. Sorry, bio-tank army. Third CC is done. We're just muling, making 3 workers at a time. We can soon take the third base. And ByuN is pushing, hoping to distract the army with his Cyclones and coming from behind with the Liberator. Looking at the units tab, ByuN is ahead in Cyclones. And we're faking a drop. Drop, scouts across the map, gets eyes on the third CC. And ByuN turns around. Oh my god. Cure. ByuN does turn around for a moment. Does second guess his push. Is being threatened by a drop, and yeah, he comes back home. Meanwhile, Cure, he's building up his tank counts. Again, still not landing his third CC yet, but has been reaping the rewards. Has been happily muling. That drop still threatening the main base as well. ByuN, he's looking for it. He's looking for the medevac. Has been revealed. ByuN looking to intercept. Up. And he will shut it down. That is 1 medevac for free. In a way for free, because Cure got a lot out of that. He did force ByuN to back off. Did give himself enough time to build up his tank count. And now Cure is secure. He can afford to lose a medevac. That's fine. It does get eyes on the lid. They do pass by each other. Cure even getting ready for a drop here into his main. It looks like he didn't see the Liberator himself. Otherwise, we would see these Vikings rotate over and deal with it. And ByuN is now taking his third. Again, Cure, he's ahead economically, and that is reflected in the supplies. Catching the army, gets a medevac. We're trading Cyclone for Cyclone. But overall, ByuN is being forced back. Forcing out a stim as well, losing another one of those Cyclones. Oh, another 2 go down. We're taking this back home. GG is going to get called. ByuN knows he cannot stop the army. And Cure will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Cure does take a lead here. Again, off of a wild opener, going for a proxy marauder. Like, there's so much that lined up for Cure. Not the fact that he went for the proxy marauder. I mean, proxy marauder was one thing. But on top of that, the fact that ByuN happened to be going for a Rax Expand CC on the low ground. Happened to be going for an economic opener, which is why ByuN had so little to deal with that army, so little to deal with those initial marauders. SCVs were going down left and right. I think it was 10 SCV kills in total. Cyclones, Marines, delay on the CC, just everything went right for Cure at the start of that game, and he snowballed out of control. ByuN was playing from behind, did stumble out the gate, and that's a solid game 1 there for Cure, but that was game 1 in a best of 5. Plenty more to come. Plenty more here on the horizon. And here we go, we're loading into game 2 on Solaris. Also, I'm have to close the window. Hold on. Here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player as well, representing Team Liquid. His new team. It is Cure. And the proxies are coming out from both players. We have two SCVs moving out for ByuN for proxy 2 racks. At the same time, Cure going out once again for a proxy racks of his own. Okay. Who do I favor here? ByuN is going to hit first. ByuN is going to hit first. He's going to hit hard here with a proxy 2 racks in the natural base of Cure. Meanwhile, Cure with 1 racks across the map, with only 1 gas being taken here as well. This is gonna be brutal here. Cure has nothing back at home. He has no production back at home. That is the scary thing. Sure, he has a rack, so he can threaten across the map, but his main base is gonna be so vulnerable, and ByuN, he will just be ahead in army supply. He's just gonna be ahead in Reapers. Double gas. It looks like maybe another proxy marauder here from Cure. It's reading like the same build, and I think this is a hard counter. Yeah, it's proxy marauder. This is going to take too long. ByuN is going to be hitting first with Reapers. There's nothing to defend, and I think it's... I don't like to say build order win too often, but I think this is a build order win for ByuN. I could be crazy. SCV comes in, confirms the racks is missing. It's being proxied, and this does not bode well. We have 1 Marauder on the way, and there's only SCVs. Like, if ByuN has good control, and we're talking about ByuN, of course he's going to have good control. He should not lose these Reapers, and he should just wreak havoc in the main base. Factory's on the way. I love that the factory is behind the mineral line. Very safe factory. We need units sooner rather than later. First Marauder's pushing out. Things are going to get chaotic. Things are going to get real weird. But I do believe that this Marauder is more prone to being surrounded. And here we go. The Reapers, they dive in. They're going for the mineral line. Again, with good kiting, with good control, ByuN should not get surrounded. Likewise, Marauder and SCV diving into the main base as well. SCVs are going down for both players. But again, like, this Marauder is going to get surrounded. It's going to take a lot of damage. That's now 3 Reapers getting into the mineral line. SCVs are falling. Hellion is on the way. Hellion is in production. But that's so many dead SCVs. At the same time, dead SCVs for his opponent, for ByuN. And even with 1 Hellion, is it going to be enough? God, there's just so much DPS here. So many SCVs are falling. That's going to be 17, 19, 20. 20 SCVs. We're still muling. We still have an economy. ByuN, if he wanted to, he could turn back around and deal with this. He's going for the kill. We have 1 Hellion biding its time. We get 1 more mule. There's no economy left. ByuN is down to 6 SCVs. ByuN, he finds the Hellion, he shuts it down. Okay. So we're going to be trading bases. So ByuN is trying to mine as much as he can. He's trying to get as much as he can out of these SCVs. And now we're floating. Now, no one can shoot up. No one can shoot up, but both players, they save their orbitals, which means we can mule. We can still mule because we mined a little bit of extra minerals and gas. ByuN, he makes another extra wave of Reapers. And we have 8 Reapers versus 4 Marauders. And these Marauders are weakened because of the SCVs. With good control, again, ByuN, he should be able to come out on top. He's going to be diving onto this army. Up! And already 1 Marauder goes down, a second, a third. GG gets called, and ByuN will take game number 2. GG. GG, well played. Again, as long as the control was on point for ByuN, was a build order win there. Going for the proxy 2 racks against a proxy Marauder of all things. ByuN, he annihilated the mineral line. He was able to mine more for longer as well, so he was able to just amass a large enough Reaper army and snowball out of control. Eventually clean up all those Marauders. GG, well played. we are getting into game 3. And I doubt we're going to be seeing any more Proxy Marauder out of Cure. We saw it work once. It was good. It worked well. You know, when the stars aligned, when it was a Rax expand. But against a Proxy, we can see that it's yeah, does fall a little bit on its face. Here we go. Here we go, as we're getting into our next game. Getting into game number 3, going to be on Hard Lead. Vámonos. And so far, we've had some really fast games. We haven't really been able to sink our teeth into this TvT yet. It's been over before it really begins. And will that change? I'm ready for it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have... Ooh. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion, tying up the series 1-1 in the last game. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. So, again, Cure just being a little bit cheeky, going for the Proxy Marauder 2 games in a row. He was completely shut down. Very unfortunate that he just happened to be going for that in that second game. To do it 2 games in a row after it first succeeds, that was a very greedy move out of Cure, very bold. Was punished, and again, we shouldn't really be seeing that opener anymore here, at least until maybe later on in the series. So we're going to be having a much more standard start here. We have double gas out of Cure, double gas out of ByuN. So yeah, very aggressive, or quote-unquote safe and tech-heavy openers. Basically, with this, we're going to be delaying the expansion and going for a faster factory for both players. So delayed expansion, faster tech here from both ByuN and Cure. We are on Hard Lead. Hard Lead has a very short rush distance by ground. You can be hyper aggressive on this map. You can be constantly in the face of your opponent. And that's what I'm expecting out of these two here in this game. That is factories on the way for ByuN. Factory also on the way for Cure. And we are mirroring each other. ByuN hasn't gone for an SCV scout, so technically, if we want to get into the nitty-gritty, ByuN is slightly ahead. Because ByuN hasn't wasted any resources by going for an SCV scout, he has slightly better mining, slightly better money. Does mean a slightly faster CC. As Cure is coming back home with his own SCV. There it is, CC on location. By 1 second, slightly faster compared to the CC of Cure. But outside of that, again, nothing to really distinguishing these two players. So far, same thing. I guess the downside is that ByuN isn't fully aware of what Cure is up to. He's in the dark. Reapers are going to be missing each other, actually. Uh-oh. This could get a little bit rowdy. Cyclone still a couple seconds away from coming out. Cure goes into the main. ByuN pushing towards that natural. SCVs are going to be going down. Oh my god, we even delay that starport. 3 SCVs. ByuN hurting here in the economy, and alas, the cyclone comes out just in time. ByuN cannot deal any damage across the map. He will get gets one worker. Sips into the main. Gets 2 SCVs in total. Delays the CC. That's actually pretty important. And ByuN is going to be able to finish up his own. So ByuN loses 1 extra SCV, but he does delay the expansion, so not a bad moment here for him. And the game will settle. Again, nothing too major here. Like a couple of trades here and there, but for the most part, they're still keeping up with each other. Getting into their 1-1-1 openers. And this is where we start to see some deviation. Finally, some deviation. Medevac. Curie's going for a drop. He's going to be pushing out with his mass Cyclone army. Meanwhile, back at home, ByuN is going for an add-on swap instead and going for Banshees. This should be 1 singular Banshee, then we get into Raven production. This is very common and very popular amongst both ByuN and Maru. They're very fond of going for this 1 Banshee in TvT. Reason for this, you don't overcommit, you don't get cloak. This one Banshee can actually do a surprising amount of damage, especially in the middle of a fight across the map. Meanwhile, here comes that Cyclone drop. We're keeping most of the Cyclones back at home. Just 2 Cyclones in the main. We're going to get a couple of workers before being forced out. And there it is. 1 Banshee into Raven. Now, the downside to this is that because we've invested into the Banshee, Cure will be getting into faster interference matrix. ByuN may not, but he may just skip it entirely. He may just skip interference matrix. He is known to not really enjoy it. In TvT, often he goes Raven without the upgrade, just for auto turrets and anti-armor missiles. Oh, but there it is. It's on the way. It is delayed, but on the way nonetheless. So he will have a little bit of extra complexity with the army. As the drop comes in, and yo, we want the Raven! Oh my god. Getting a couple of hits in. ByuN is moving out. Cyclones move in. Oh, we're getting quite a lot of SCVs. 1 Cyclone will fall up. Drop barely makes it out. And back at home, what kind of position do we have? We have a couple of Ravens. We have 5 Cyclones. 5 and 5. We get the lock on. The Raven goes down. A big loss there for ByuN. Overextending, a bit of miscontrol, and ByuN is forced back. Uh-oh. Okay. As we do try to catch the Cyclones, unsuccessful though. Behind this, we go for the Banshee across the map. Does get shut down, gets 2 SCVs before falling. Banshee this time not quite worth it. Did get eyes on the fast third TC. ByuN's own third, a little bit behind that of Cure. And as the dust settles, I need to give the edge to Cure. Cure, he has a faster third, and he's also up in Ravens. Again, ByuN losing a Raven was huge. He's making a 3rd Raven behind this. As Cure is going out once again with another Cyclone drop. At the same time, ByuN getting ready for his own Raven harass. They're getting into a biotank army. God, that's a lot of Cyclones. We're up to 9 Cyclones here for ByuN. By the time we move out, we may have 1 tank. We have tank production underway here for Cure. Getting out of Cyclones. Likewise, so is ByuN. Getting into tank production. Here we go. Cure going for a drop into the main base. We don't have much to defend. And that is going to trigger ByuN. Here we go. SCVs are going down. A Raven auto turret harass. Wreaking havoc in the main base. And now we're pushing in. We're looking to overwhelm the army. Auto turrets are thrown down, and Cure is going to be able to buy some time. A lot of SCVs going down across the map. 14! That double drop of Cyclones just went to town on that mineral line. ByuN plummeting in his economy, plummeting in worker count. 1 Cyclone survived as well. That was 1 Cyclone for 14 SCVs. And thanks to those auto turrets, thanks to the tank as well, Cure is safe. Cure, he holds onto his natural. ByuN finds no damage. And ByuN is in a lot of trouble. He's forced to come back home, which means he cannot delay the 3rd base. Cure, he can land without any issue. And that Cyclone still isn't done. It should be though. Yeah, we're forced it back. Do force it back, but here we go. Cure snowballing out of control. Looking at the supplies here. Cure, he's up in tanks, he's up in Ravens, down in Cyclones, but the tanks are what's important. And Cure, he's getting in position to deny this 3rd base. And the tank does siege. Yeah, good volleys off, and the 3rd CC is under threat, and we may even kill it. No, that's gonna be a kill in the 3rd base. Even supply blocking ByuN. 1-1 is finishing up, and ByuN, it's all or nothing for him. He has to commit. He's pushing in. Big disable here on the tank. Auto turrets are thrown down. The Raven goes down. And Cure, he will take this fight. GG gets called. Cure taking a 2-1 lead in the finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Cure looking strong in this game, constantly harassing and doing well across the map, keeping up with ByuN at every turn. That was impressive. GG, well played, and even causing some mistakes out of ByuN. We saw a couple of overextensions here and there. ByuN losing some Ravens, losing some Cyclones. Cure was just all over him, and now Cure is one game away from winning it all, from taking this series and becoming this week's champion. ByuN, he needs to fight back here and now. He needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Can he do it? Can he pull it off? What is this? Spam this Joker to help run Cure over. You're an animal. You're an animal. I mean, personally, I hope that we do get an ace match. I hope that ByuN is able to fight back here and force a game 5. I just want as much as I can out of these players. That's all I want. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. Oh, down in the series, he needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. One game away from becoming this week's champion. It is Cure. Go. And as we get into Hecate, it is a more Mac-oriented map. We're going to be calming things down, and we have a Rax expand set up here from... Oh, no, never mind. ByuN is going for double gas opener, so is Cure. Once again, really safe play. No one is taking a risk on being too economic. No one is taking that chance. Especially if one player proxies the other. Especially after what happened in game 1. Does explain a lot. So we have our Raxes back at home. Cure going for a scout across the map. Trying to get a read on what exactly is going on. ByuN is just setting himself up for it. And this can lead in a couple of different directions, of course. 1-1-1 can lead into additional Cyclones early on, into Raven production, as we saw before. ByuN last game did invest into that early Banshee. Had a lot of potential, but only killed 2 SCVs, if you remember. So that also set ByuN behind. Not just that, but winding it back. Remember, he also lost early Ravens, early Cyclones. ByuN, he does need to tighten things up here if he wants to take it to Cure. ByuN taking a chance. Moving out with his first Reaper. He's gonna get... Yeah, he's gonna be shot in the face. We do hit first. Oh, KDA charge. Oh my god, Cure, he is gonna lose his first Reaper. Big loss there for Cure. ByuN getting across the map, forcing the CC on the high ground. That was a really risky maneuver. That should not have gone ByuN's way. And just like that, he gets into the main base. Delaying the CC, looking for an SCV kill. He will not get one. Hellion comes out just in time. But that was a nice win here for ByuN. It's always really risky moving out with your first Reaper. You don't know if your opponent went Reactor first into double Reaper production. Hellion moves out. ByuN shoots first. Cure has to back off. So a nice little win in the early game. This means that ByuN will have a better economy earlier. CC's about to finish up. CC's still on the way for Cure. Has to float over to the natural. ByuN looking to catch some units out on the map. Cure rotating around, bypassing the army, going for the main base, but a Cyclone is in position. Oof. And the Reapers are shut down. Yeah, Cure, he's just not finding anything here. Ah, he's going to get an SCV. Gets one. He's going to try to evacuate. He's going to try to escape, but does get shut down as well. ByuN likewise slipping into the main base. Gets one SCV as well. Getting a full scout. Getting eyes on the 1-1-1. And we are going for some different forms of aggression. Let's go. We do have a double Cyclone drop once again from Cure moving out. We've seen it do so much damage before. Meanwhile, ByuN moving out with a Cyclone and some Marines as well. The drops, they will miss each other.
Are under attack.
They do miss each other, and because the Marines are moving out, there's that much less to defend back at home. Cyclones, they take control of the natural at the same time, and ByuN going towards the natural here of Cure with a tank. Tank drop has arrived. We deny mining at the natural base. Likewise, so is Cure. Boys are being pulled. We have one tank to defend. Medevac goes down. And ByuN is just getting further and further ahead. He's still mining on 2 bases. Cure is contained to 1. Yeah, this tank drop from ByuN getting out of control. Takes down a depot. Supply blocks Cure. Oh my god. The power of this auto turret. We should be able to deal with this. Oh, barely. We take down the tank. It was a costly trade. But Cure can finally mine from his natural. Third CC on the way. ByuN just looking to get further and further ahead. And ByuN, he doesn't have to assert himself. He has to just calm things down. Getting into additional tanks, getting into his third base. He can just maintain his lead here. He can chill. He's up 10 workers. The pressure is on Cure instead to get damage done. We even have the Viking patrolling in position to deny a drop. Speaking of, drop is on the way. Just at every turn here, ByuN, he's just been harassing and abusing Cure from the beginning of the game. Drop is coming in. We have a tank, we have Marines. Yeah, we can't do any damage. Oh, we're going for the tank though. Not quite. If there wasn't a tank on the low ground, we can probably just get on top of this, on top of the tank and shut it down. Last, not quite able to. Liberator harassing the main base, denying so much mining time as well. Ay. Gets an SCV. Here we go. Cure is pushing. I believe he saw the timing on the third. No, he didn't see the third base. He is moving out regardless. And he has potential. You know, even though he doesn't have any tanks with this army, he has Ravens. We can disable the tanks of ByuN. And the tanks are set up. We do get one disable. We get a second as well. The goal here to break the natural base. We get one tank. We're going to get a second as well. The boys, they have to be pulled. The lock-on is broken. And ByuN holds. ByuN barely holds on. He outlasts the disable. His tanks are free. And that was a nice trade for Cure. It was a good trade. But not good enough. Oh my god. Medevac goes down. Not like this. The Ravens did race back home, very low, but they did survive. And ByuN can take his third base. 1-1 is on the way, the tank count getting higher. Looking at the units tab here, of course, ByuN is up in tanks. Down in Ravens. Cure does slip into the middle line. He's going to get a couple of SCVs. Not bad. Here we go, ByuN is pushing. And this is terrifying. Oh my god, the Marines, they take down both Cyclones. What do we have at home to defend? We have one tank, we have Ravens, and they do have disables available. They have one each. Very important to take note of. which means Cure can win a fight. There we go. We get one to save. We get two as well. Is it enough? It looks like it barely is. And Cure diving on the tank on the low ground. Reinforcements are on the way, but he doesn't get the tank. ByuN, he maintains his position. The Ravens are out of energy. And ByuN can keep on pushing. Oh no, he's within range. No. Barely gets the tank. Gets two tanks. Oh my god. Cure. He's popping off. The Raven. ByuN is attempting to reposition. Within range of the gases as well. And Marines, they do take control of the natural. We have plenty of Marines available here for Cure as well. 1-1 just finishing up. Intense moments. The repairs are on point. The Ravens are ready to go in again. They are ready. We have disables. We too just barely won disable. We dive on top of the army. We dive on top of the tanks, and Cure cleans this up. Every single tank will go down. The comeback. The comeback is real. Cure still behind in workers, but now ahead in tanks. As he moves out, ByuN is coming in from behind. Can he achieve much though, as Cure is pushing, and this third base from ByuN is actually looking quite exposed. The sensor tower is about to finish up, but a little bit too late. The tanks defend back at home, and Cure, he dives on the CC, dives into the mineral line. Can he get the base? No, he cannot. A little bit too greedy. Trying to focus down the orbital. Goes into the main instead. There is a tank in position. And we're diving on it. The tank will go down. But we're bleeding out a lot of Marines. Cure will escape. But not bad. He gets 6 workers. He gets a tank. Breaks free. Forces ByuN to turn back around. ByuN is getting a 4cc on location. Cure is on the way. Cure now has map control. And ByuN is stuck at home. Looking at the units tab, ByuN has 1 tank. This is his only tank against the 5 of Cure. Doesn't quite get the tower. Drop is coming in though. Planetary is not done. ByuN out of position. He doesn't see this coming in. SCVs. They're gonna go down. 10 SCVs. As we pick up, we get the hell out of there. ByuN still has a worker lead, which is crazy after losing 10 workers. Cure still working on his own base, on his own 4th CC, and here we go. We on siege, we're moving across map. Cure with a terrifying army. ByuN may have the better economy, but Cure has the stronger army. Oh my god. As he threatens the dive. Keeping tabs on the forces of ByuN. And Cure, he's just going straight for that planetary. We do have some tanks in position. ByuN is ready for this. Show us the disables. There we go. We are within range. Tank goes down. Cure, he's just going to town here on these Marines. Another disable on that tank. Cure bleeding out some tanks though. Laying siege upon this planetary. Does scan ahead of time. ByuN coming over with his reinforcements. Can he save this base? He's going for it. He dives in. Delayed reaction out of Cure, and he's going to be losing his tanks. He's being cleaned up. He gets completely cleaned up. Cure losing every one of his tanks, but he has another army heading towards the 3rd base. ByuN, he's rotating over. He's aware. Can he get here in time? Senses how it goes down. Tank as well. Boys were pulled for a moment. But it looks like ByuN should be able to clean this up, but not without losing so many SCVs. Oh my god, 15! The boys, they went down. 16 SCVs, an entire mineral line. And has this been worth it? This has been very frantic out of Cure. Losing a medevac. Keeping the attention back home. Cure. Oh my god, still just continuing to push, actually. He does not want to allow ByuN to breathe. Doesn't want him to settle. But ByuN is ready for it this time. And Cure lost all of his Ravens. Oh my god, we're just going straight for the tanks. We get 2. We get the tanks. At the same time, a drop into the mineral line. SCVs are falling left and right. ByuN is being pulled apart. He is being pulled apart. He just is having a really hard time keeping up at all. As the drop is still not cleaned up. Getting a high yield depot. And back at home, Cure is chilling. He's on 71 workers, reproducing his army, setting out reinforcements towards the planetary as well. One wrong move though, and oh, the tanks are unsieged! We get one, we get both tanks. Oh my god, big pick off here from Cure. Gets both tanks. Liberators have arrived. Cure, the load! No! ByuN, he loads up at the wrong moment, loses his Liberators as well. And Cure is snowballing out of control. We have to commit, we have to dive on top of the tanks. At the same time, Cure, he goes for the 4th. Gets the tanks, sieges up. And he is looking to take control of this planetary. ByuN is coming. He is rotating over, but that's a lot of tanks. And it looks like Cure doesn't have enough to protect them. It looks like everything gets cleaned up as well. A little bit wasteful here out of Cure, but he still kills so many SCVs. There's 16 workers going down. Cure, he can just reproduce. He's just remaking his army over and over again. He can afford it. ByuN can't. Finally, ByuN is moving out. Finally, Cure is going to have to be the one defending back at home instead. Does ByuN have enough? Oh, we're trying to catch reinforcements. The drops! Oh my god, forcing a siege. ByuN is going for the 5th base. Gets a lot of SCVs. As he's going to be landing his own 5th base on location as well. Has plenty back at home to defend. Cure tries to stim in, but he sees the Marines. Doesn't find any damage. ByuN is stabilizing. Now, ByuN has a super maxed army. He's down 20 workers, but he's up in army supply. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. It means that, of course, ByuN can take a better fight, but if he does lose too much too quickly, he cannot reproduce. He can't rebuild his army, I should say. I've been saying reproduce a lot. Oh my god. Ay. Rebuild? Maybe I'll stick with rebuild for now. As we do see ByuN pushing through the center. Cure getting ready for a backstab. Seeing all these hot Marines, man, I have one thing on the mind. As ByuN moves out, we do go for that backstab, but Cure, what does he go for? He's going straight for the 3rd. The orbital is exposed. Likewise, so is the 3rd base of Cure. We're going to be trading a base for a base. And ByuN, he's not content. He's not satisfied. He's going for a Doom Drop into the main. But Marines are waiting, no! Full medevac goes down. Oh my god, a 2nd medevac, a 3rd medevac as well. ByuN overextending, is getting some SCVs at least. But that was a costly trade for ByuN. And that's an orbital, that is not a planetary. Cure, he gets 1 CC, he's gonna get a 2nd as well. There's no saving it. ByuN going for another Doom Drop, threatening a Doom Drop into the main, but we're in position. We cannot drop. ByuN, he loses his base. He's down to 3 bases remaining, 3 CCs. Cure, he's chilling on 4. Once again, though, the army supplies are pretty comparable. They are comparable to each other. ByuN can still win a fight. But he's got one fight in him. Doesn't have a bank, doesn't have resources left. Barely any minerals. As he moves out, oh, Curie's going for the production. ByuN is supply blocked. Goes straight for the production instead. Cure pushing out on the right-hand side, going for the last mining base of ByuN. Oh, can he get the tank? He will. Barely gets the tank. Liberator being so annoying across the map, and as ByuN pushes out, Cure, he pushes in once again, finally looking to bring down this planetary, and he will. The planetary falls. ByuN is down to 2 CCs, 0 mining here from ByuN. No economy whatsoever. That's, yeah. Oh my god. That was the 5th base, by the way. The 5th was the main, floating over. ByuN at this point completely all in. He does have the Doom Drop. He's going for the planetary. He's going to get it. Or is he? The repair is barely enough. The planetary stands strong. The drop doesn't find any damage. And ByuN, he has to preserve his army here. He can't throw anything away. We gotta go. We gotta send it. But Curie's more than happy to accept the base trade. I mean, ByuN has 0 mining. We go straight for the orbital. ByuN going for the base trade, but Cure has the high ground. He has control of the ramp. We can't push in. GG gets called. There's no other way. And Cure takes the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure as he... Oh my god, as that was quite a back and forth actually. Remember, ByuN, he was ahead in the early game. He was just shutting Cure down at every turn, getting so much damage done. But ByuN did overextend. He overextended one too many times. When he pushed out across the map into the tank line of Cure, Cure was able to take a better trade, clean up, and there was more of a back and forth going on, but Cure was able to maintain his economic lead throughout the entirety or the majority of that game. Oh, just pulling ByuN apart left and right. And yeah, GG, well played. A very active style out of Cure. Usually we see the reverse. Usually we see ByuN just all over the place, going for all these drops, all these move outs, repositioning, out-positioning the opponent. But the turns were tabled, and Cure was the aggressor this time. And yeah, it was really impressive. GG, well played. ByuN typically has a harder time taking the role of the defender instead, and keeping up with the drop play and keeping up with the movement of his opposing player, of his opponents. And yeah, GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure. My condolences to ByuN. I mean, second place is like no easy feat. He took down Gumiho to make it this far. ByuN, he took down Gumiho and Classic as well, so some big names, some very big names, but did falter here in the finals. And you know, again, losing to Cure is, I mean, there's no shame in that. Cure is one of the best Terrans in the world at the moment. Arguably has the best TvP in the world, and his other matchups aren't looking too bad either. So congratulations to Cure. And we have crowned our champion for this week's ESL Asia, the first of the 200 series, I guess, the 201st edition of ESL Asia. And I'm sure both of these players will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is going to be ESL Open Cup Americas, papi. Americas is right around the corner. In 12 hours. In 12 hours time, we will have the Americas edition of this tournament. I say Americas, it isn't region locked, it's just at a good time zone for the Americas region. So we get players like Trigger, Estrella. They're a little bit more active in those tournaments. I don't know if they will be this week because of ESL Masters. Because of ESL Masters, I'm sure there are some top tier players that want to like preserve their builds and just like rest and not really overexert themselves before their ESL matches, their ESL Masters matches. So I don't know how active they're going to be. I'm curious. I'm really curious as to what the turnout is going to be like here for the European and the Americas edition of these tournaments. Of course, GSL has concluded, so all the Koreans are all coming out strong. When it comes to the foreign scene, you know, they still have their own version of GSL. They still have ESL Masters that is still ongoing themselves. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the turnout, what these signups are going to be looking like. Outside of that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks so much for the support. If you enjoyed this event and if you want more, this is a weekly. We've been live with this tournament for 200 editions, 201 now. Ever since 2020, the beginning of ESL Pro Tour, we've had these weekly tournaments, and yeah, if you enjoyed it, you can come back next week. Every single week, we're live on this channel with ESL Open Cup Asia. The only time we aren't live with ESL Asia is if there's something else, like overlapping. If there's some kind of other event that's going on at the same time, then maybe we would cover that instead. But yeah, usually we're live here with ESL Asia. So I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. We do have a brief reprieve from ESL Masters. ESL Masters is on hiatus for a couple of days until all the Open Cups wrap up. And then ESL Masters will continue, I believe, on Thursday. I believe starting Thursday. So yeah, there you go. Outside of that, if you want some more CranKy Duckling action, we're going to be live in a couple of hours. I did just mention it, I believe in 12 hours with ESL Open Cup Americas. We don't cast the European edition of this tournament, just because I would like to sleep at some point, and casting Asia into EU into Americas typically isn't the best idea if we want to sleep at some point. So we won't be live with Europe. Enjoy the other casters though. I believe Wardy casts Europe. I think maybe Steadfast, maybe Zombie Grubs, some of the other English casters. They got you covered with the European edition. We'll be back with the American edition. We'll be back. And again, that is in 12 hours time. Also, if you maybe won't be here for in 12 hours for the Americas edition, tomorrow in 24 hours we're going to be live with WTL. World Team League is going to be live here on this channel. It's going to be a very special edition of WTL, just because you may be wondering, it's like, wait, WTL, isn't that over the weekend? Yes, you're not wrong. Typically WTL is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I'm not too sure why. This week specifically, WTL is actually rescheduled and is going to be tomorrow. The first day of WTL is tomorrow. So yeah, I'm not too sure why. I don't know if there's like maintenance going on. Oh right, of course. Duh. WTL is tomorrow because they don't want it to clash with ESL Masters. ESL Masters comes back on Thursday, if you remember, and the finals of ESL Masters is on Sunday. And I believe we won't have WTL on Sunday. Because it's going to be the finals, and you know, we want to make sure that all the players that are a part of that can be free to play in that as well. So that's why WTL has been rescheduled to earlier instead, to tomorrow, to make sure that there's no conflicting schedules or anything like that. So yeah, that's the reason for it. So a shout out for WTL for accommodating, for making sure that, you know, we're not clashing with the finals, and it means that we can cast everything. We can cast it all, but cast it all. So yeah, be sure to tune in tomorrow if you're interested in World Team League. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you much for the support. And yeah, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Also, a big shout out as well to Sync Mama. Mommy. Sync Mama in the chat for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate the bits. We appreciate the support. Oh, I can't forget to pay out the predictions as well. It was 50-50. So shout out to those that did predict Cure. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Americans. Until then, hasta luego. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Hasta luego. Hasta luego.